Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Movies, Music, and Mayhem. I believe it's week 6. I can't believe it's been this long. This has just been flying by and crawling all at the same time. So today is going to be the best. I have a very, very dear friend of mine and yours. I'm assuming if you watch the movie Trivia Schmoedown, he is a constant name that's always thrown around about the Mount Schmoedown. And he is one of the kindest people I've ever met in my life. This is Mr. Mark Yodi Reilly.
Oh, hello, Rachel. Hello,
Mark.
everybody. I am so happy to be here to celebrate movies and music and freaking mayhem.
All the mayhem.
All the mayhem.
That's legit been my life. So I figure, with everything going on right now, everybody else's lives are mayhem. So we may as well talk about it.
Yeah, seriously. That's exactly what's going on. Lesai.
To kick all this off, in your honor, I have gotten a bottle of Murphy Good.
Oh my God. Damn, that's good. That's a good bottle.
So we're I've never had it before, but I figured
I'm wineless.
Mark's on how are you wineless?
I know.
It literally was like, Mark's on the show. I'm gonna forego my traditional bourbon.
Yeah.
Go with some wine.
It's it's mostly because we drank all of it. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. We drank all of it. We were kind of out and about. We helped my mother out. We were there for about a week. And when we came back, we still have to go to the store, but we did have a little bit of a scare over here on the Rock and Roll Ralphs with a lot of COVID cases. So we are avoiding that one right now, but we're trying to figure out where to go next. But so I got to go to the store and get wine. Most likely we'll be getting some after the show as I drive to down the street. But I digress.
But you went to go see your mom. How's she doing?
My mother's fine. She's my mother. She's still with the questions. It's all the questions. What are you doing? Is the lights on? Where are the dogs? What are you doing? All from her room that's like on the other side of the house. So she'll be yelling it to us or she'll be looking down from the balcony. It's quite fun, but God love her. She's doing good. We helped her out, got some, she needed some dog beds and some food and go to the store and all these kind of things. And so it was really fun. And we used her wonderful view because she has a beautiful view, and we barbecued and hung out and actually stretched our legs for once and, getting out of the house.
Yeah, I noticed your when you were grilling on May the 4th, I was like, that's not their place.
No,
like, I've been to your place. That's
how
not
did Mark
your place.
Get a view all of a sudden? Did Mark knock down a wall or something into his apartment? Because it's a shoebox here. So yeah, we'd be lucky to get any portion of that view from a window here even. So anyways.
Yeah. I was like, they didn't move. I would have gotten the call to either watch Leia or help haul boxes. So
I know, right. Yeah, we are moving though. We will be moving by June, so it's time.
By June.
Yeah, we have to move.
That's in 2 weeks.
That's we actually middle of June we're moving. So we're right at the 30-day mark where it's time to start looking. We've already had some places looking at some places. So yeah, it's one of those things. And I can't wait to get out of here because it's one of those, you've seen the place. It's a shoebox. We've been here for a while. We were supposed to do this after the wedding. That was the whole plan, was the wedding and then the move. And then, well, here we are, no wedding yet. So we got to move, save some money, do all that kind of stuff. The sucky part is it's during a pandemic. So here we are.
Yeah, but at least then you're like the likelihood of fighting for parking for the truck isn't going to be too hard.
Yeah, correct.
You're not going to get like yelled at by traffic. So, it's silver lining.
Right. Exactly. There is a silver lining to this. So we'll be fine.
Plus, nobody can actually say that they're too busy to help you move because they're not.
True.
No one is doing anything right now.
True. But, I guess the social distancing thing might come in the way. But, I can always say, hi, friend. Yeah, boxes are over there. But no, I would probably hire a moving company and do it the right way. Yeah. I think there are people I've looked online. They're taking this into account. They're coming with masks. They're going to be, I'm going to look into that. For the time being, though, we're like, here we are, pandemic.
Yeah. Can we just erase this year? That sounds amazing.
I heard from Gavin Newsom that my birthday doesn't count. Because of this pandemic, because my birthday's on Monday. So it doesn't count to the years.
That's right.
But I get to celebrate. There's a
totally
loophole.
forgot.
Yeah. I don't know how it is for other states and other districts, but Gavin Newsom, California governor, has allowed that I'm not aging a year. So it's a wash.
God bless Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, you could still, the stimulus though is you could still, you get to have a party.
Yeah.
You still count it, but you don't count it. It's somebody, I think Pelosi passed it or something. I don't know what happened. So we're fine here. We're all fine now. Thank you. How are you?
Great. That makes me so much happier. Now I'm 35 all over again. That makes me so sweet.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
No, we're good over here. We got Alex and Brandon and I are just, hanging out and watching movies and Community because, anything to keep you laughing during this time is like a godsend. So I've been streaming on everyone's feeds at this point. So it's been fun and crazy and busy and
yeah, I mean, everybody's doing their thing and I love it. Like everybody's sharing, everybody's jumping around, appearing on everybody's shows. And, Andrew Guy came on the Reilly Roundtable last week and he's like, I haven't seen you since. And I'm like, I don't even remember the last time I saw you. And it was like some of these get-togethers, as it were, on these streams are like catching up, seeing our friends.
Yeah, like this. This is the most I've seen you in the last 2.5 months.
Oh yeah.
Like the last time I saw you was when we were all on your show.
Yeah. I think the last time, right? You guys coming on Reilly's Cantina was the last time I saw you, at least here.
Yeah.
And then we get, I don't know. I mean, occasionally I'll see a human being walk over there, and it's like, hi, human being, don't come near me.
You guys should have like patio or balcony time in your apartment complex, and everybody just comes out and everybody just checks in with each other.
I wish we could.
10 minutes.
We have tried to be friendly with our neighbors. Our place is a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. We did make some friends to some neighbors that were here that have since gone, but like they've done this place in particular. I mean, I've come this close to blasting them on Twitter because they are just the worst management company. And then I thought, you know what? You're a jerk yourself, Mark, for doing that. Anyways, they are doing nothing but Airbnbs around here. So there is somebody directly across from us when we first moved in. And I'm like, hi, neighbor, trying to meet them and stuff. And they're like, what? Airbnb. And through this pandemic, there have been a number of Airbnbers that just come into this place and sit there and then stare at us, apparently. So it's interesting. Yeah. I
mean, I made a friend at your place because you have Leia that I have lovingly been given the adoptive rights to.
Correct.
But I remember walking her one day and making friends with one of your neighbors who had a blue-nosed pit bull puppy named Blue that she became friends with. And there are very few people here. Yeah, I'm excited for you to move.
Yeah.
Very excited for you.
It's a little kind of everybody does their own thing. I know. I wish we had, because you do have a great community for it in my place where if you knew your neighbors, it would be probably rad. You'd be like, hey, join me on the patio for some wine. And you're talking, but no, everybody's kind of like head down, doesn't want to say anything. And then the assholes above me ash into my patio. So I put signs underneath where it's like, get a freaking cup, with some water in it, ash in that, you derelict. So anyways, that's my favorite word, by the way, too. And it's from Sideways. Derelict. Yeah. So when Jack crashes Miles's car and wrecks all the wine in the back, and he's like, it's no big deal, I'll fix it. And Miles is like, no, it is a big deal, you effing derelict. And it's just like this biting word that I need to use now and then. It's perfect.
I mean, now is the perfect time to learn and start using new words so that when you start coming into contact with more people, you can use them. And I would love to go back to like a Shakespearean time where it was just like, you dog nose licking, underbellied cretin, like form some amazing, like I would love to get sworn at like that. I would be like, you know what? That was good. I didn't deserve it
too much. Oh yeah. You got to do it. I miss those times as well. Oh my God. In fact, oh God, it's funny that you say that. I wrote something the other day with my lead female where she started talking where her relationship, her significant other goes, oh God, she's talking like period Gwyneth Paltrow now. That means she's freaking out right now. And she starts talking like Emma. and
Oh my God.
Shakespeare in Love, and you're like, babe, calm down, you've lost it. And she's like, doth not protest. And you're like,
Be like, you're Austinine, calm down.
yeah. It's like, I love the idea of a character getting angry and then just reverting to like Shakespearean speak to get through it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of trying to get through it, what have you been listening to lately?
You know, lately, if I'm being completely honest, I've been listening. My boy Paul Denuzzi out there, I think he's here watching now.
I think so,
got me on this Samuel Kim. I want to say it's Samuel Kim music, if I'm remembering correctly. And he did this, Samuel Kim music on YouTube. He's done all these original compositions using John Williams music for Star Wars. It's called an epic Star Wars mix, and it's the greatest. Some of the greatest Star Wars music arrangements I've ever heard. I mean, he's like playing Yoda's theme, and then he'll just add a little bit of Rey's theme, and then all of a sudden Princess Leia's theme will come up. It's this epic arrangement that I'm putting on my Alexa. I'm constantly listening to this. He has a number of playlists, and I'm blasting it across the apartment every chance I get.
Is that the one that you sent us to listen to?
Oh yeah, that's it. I'm still listening to it. We've been talking ever since. Yes. So you came on the show talking about it.
It is so gorgeous, guys. Like I'll put the link in the chat in a bit.
Yeah, it's
what
great.
Was his name again?
Samuel Kim music. You can search him on YouTube. He's got a channel. He's fantastic. Been listening to him, as well as I'm a big jazz guy. Just in the background, I'll put on Alexa and I'll say play Miles Davis, and it'll just start playing in the background. So those are my go-tos. But also lately, I don't know if you've seen, going back to like my college days, somebody I still follow to this day, Dave Matthews is doing live streams on Wednesday nights, and it's caused me to go, wait a minute, and play a bunch of Dave Matthews Band lately, because I love me some Dave Matthews Band.
Actually, it's funny that you bring up Dave. Dave has a very important part in my life.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
Did you? I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan.
Oh yeah. Oh, Gray Street is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Oh, Gray Street. Yes. And that was a song he never released up until finally The Bartender. The Bartender is another one that I put up there with Gray Street.
Yeah.
Where they finally released that album years later. They had been playing it like on the, like you hear him play it in concert, but he's not releasing that stuff.
No.
So Gray Street and The Bartender is like one of those things where you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, during the summer, my friend Scott was the first of us to get his license. So he turned 16 the summer between freshman and sophomore year. So that last like week and a half, because he turned 16 in August. So that last like 2 weeks maybe, we would get bored and we'd be hanging out all summer and get bored. And at like midnight, we'd be like, you know what? Let's go to Santa Cruz. And so we would hop in his car and drive over the hill to Santa Cruz. And he had a moonroof. And so he took the moonroof off, and we would just play Crash Into Me over and over. And it was like the most amazing, like it's the whitest thing I've ever done, I think. But like,
nice.
You cruise over the hill, you go to the walk on the boardwalk at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you sit and listen to the waves, and then you cruise back at like 3 o'clock, stop at the Denny's on the way back. It was amazing. Also our senior year, our senior prom was the first night of Saul's calling me Saul, silly. I love him. But they did it was our senior prom was the first of 2 nights that they were playing at Shoreline Amphitheater in Mountain View. And our senior prom was on a paddle boat in the San Francisco Bay. And the tide was high, and we coasted down far enough south to where we could hear Dave. So we convinced the captain to drop anchor and let us sit. And our entire class was out like outside the boat, just listening to Dave Matthews. And then the second night was the night after. So almost our entire senior class came back together, hungover, hanging out in the GA section, and listened to Dave Matthews as one of the last things we did as a class. And it was like one of the most amazing things. I love Dave Matthews, guys.
Yeah, I love Thrawn 2K5, my friend in here. Yeah, Carter Buford, his drummer is dope as F.
There is not a single person in that band that does not belong there. Like, they are some of the most experienced and talented musicians.
Oh, they're incredible. I saw somebody in the chat. I couldn't see. They're pretty good live. I would change that to their awesome live.
You can swear, it's okay.
I can say I've been holding my tongue. They're fucking amazing.
This is my feed. Of course I'm fucking
I've been tripping out with all the new YouTube algorithms now with mine. I'm like putting it up and it's like they're at Rockin' Movies with Tyler. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's me, maybe it was the weed talking, but my God, when you're listening to some Dave Matthews live, it is truly something special. It's just something that I've just dug for a long time.
Yeah, as a graduation present, one of my best friends, somehow, I have no idea how he did this, got a bootleg copy of the concert that we went to after senior prom. And I have that live album that I listened to. It's unbelievable. It's just one of the best moments of my life. It was so great.
There was a time in my life after college, Napster was a thing. And,
oh my God, I remember Napster.
And Dave Matthews live concerts, we were like sharing that like I would get live versions that nobody had of concerts of Dave Matthews. And the other big one I had was Tori Amos. Huge Tori Amos to this day too. Excuse me, a Tori Amos fan. So I would get all of these songs and just from Napster and just live versions. And it's like somebody like literally standing in the back with probably an old Casio, like, listening or something, or like recording it. I was just obsessed. It was so much fun.
Okay, this makes me disgustingly jealous. Cam Shaft says that she got to see Dave Matthews Band play with Stevie Wonder, and she was 6th row. Oh,
that's Stevie Wonder. That's amazing.
Lucky.
Now I'll tell you my Dave Matthews story. We go to the Home Depot Center here when it was the new Home Depot Center over there off the 110 405 area. Carson. Yep, all my friends. And we bought the tickets, and it was one of the things Lisa Gottman, one of my dear friends and writing partners, like she's usually on it. She's like, I'm buying all the tickets. You pay me back kind of thing. And so we get all the tickets and we sit down and we're decent seats. They're like a little bit back. They're to the side. We're definitely not in the front row, like section. Like we're on the outsides, sitting behind one of the most gigantic poles I've ever seen, blocking the view. Completely blocking. And we're all like, doing the party thing, and we're like, wandering and trying to watch and everything. Well, Lisa, being Lisa, goes and complains, and they go, you're right. They take, I think there was probably 7 of us, and put us 2nd row center for Dave Matthews. It was, I'm like, the whole time I'm like, how did you do this? And we just got like, and it was the greatest time of my life. I'm like, holy, Dave sweat on me. It was so great. So that was my Dave Matthews. No Stevie Wonder, but 2nd row center.
Yeah, I haven't seen Stevie. Stevie Wonder is oddly enough, I hear him everywhere I go, every time I go to Las Vegas.
Okay.
I can't explain it. I don't know why, but every time I walk into a casino or a hotel, they're always playing Stevie Wonder, and it's usually very superstitious.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm like, am I supposed to be here? Like, is this someone telling me to like go home? Because I probably shouldn't be gambling.
Right.
I mean, I have learned over the years that I only win when I play with other people's money.
Well, yeah, that's usually how it works.
Oh no, I turned $40 from my friend into $800.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I'm taking you to Vegas then. Okay.
I win with other people's money.
I tend to do fairly decent at blackjack if I get on a good roll. And then, we'll see where it goes from there. I usually know when to walk away. Not Las Vegas trip. That was no. But,
that was the usually, Mark Ellis show.
The Mark Ellis, Ken Knapsack, Josh McCoo. Yeah, we were all there. And then Christian Ruvacaba and I had a good run on the blackjack table. And then I decided to walk back after partying with those guys late into the night. I had to walk through the casino to get to my hotel room. I was just playing a little bit of blackjack.
Just put
Well,
20 down. It's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I think the next day when I finally got home and checked my bank account, and I went, did I draw $400? I did.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, I sure did. I still had $200 in my pocket, but I was like, oh yeah, we lost. That wasn't smart.
Be like,
Hey, the
"There's a
drinks were
wedding."
free, I guess,
Yeah. I mean, you never end up drinking the amount that you end up putting in.
Correct.
Except for me. I do the penny slots. That is my game.
Oh, that's
And
okay.
you find the penny slot that's like closest to the bar, because it's usually like in the back corner where nobody goes because they're like cheap people. It's fine. But there's usually a bar right near them. And so you just befriend like the first waitress that walks by, you just put a 20 on their tray.
Keep them coming.
And you're like, Jameson and Gingers, I will be right here. And they take care of you. It's great.
They absolutely do. That's the best thing. Yeah. That was one of the tricks I learned when it's like that first drink, give a nice tip and then keep them coming.
Yep.
If, which can get dangerous, but if you're an adult, you can do it.
Adult. It is Vegas. Like you never
Correct.
know how true that or how capitalized that A is.
Right. Mine's a lowercase right now. And probably there's a space between the A and the D. So, it's an adult.
Adult.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Been doing some fun things. Somebody said something. Oh, somebody had brought up Lincoln Park. Have you seen Lincoln? Did you get to see Lincoln Park before Chester passed?
I've never seen Lincoln Park other than from footage and whatnot. But I know I love Lincoln Park, and unfortunately, I was there. I know Mark Fernandez knew him very well, and so when he did pass, that was like something that shocked Fernandez. We were all at Comic-Con when it happened.
Yeah.
And we were putting on a live movie talk at the time at a comedy show with Ellis. And this was also when Schnepp was still with us. I believe Schnepp was still with us. And Christian and Dennis and all these guys with Collider. And I came in from doing something and Fernandez was just head down because it was his friend. And so, didn't get to see him though live. And I wish I did.
Yeah, they did a surprise set for the 20th anniversary of Warped Tour in Ventura, and I was on the tour, and so like they were talking about like how sporadically throughout the tour there were going to be guest artists performing, and so when we were getting close to LA, everyone was like, I wonder who it is, and like all of a sudden out of the corner of my eye I see like three of their guys, and I'm like, way to stay hidden. Like, right. Come on. Like, you're literally just walking around backstage. Like, go hide in your trailer. But they were amazing. And they ended up bringing, doing duets and bringing, singers from all of the different bands that were headlining and that were really good friends with Chester. Because, like, Lincoln Park played a few years on Warped Tour, I think. But getting to see that, and like they weren't letting anybody on stage. So I lucked out because one of my friends was mixing the sound for them, and so they're like, if you've never been to Warped Tour, for the main
I've never done Warped Tour.
It's a lot. So they have the two main stages set up basically like side by side, and then the sound booth, like the mixing booth, is like 50 to 75 feet out, depending on how big the venue is.
Yeah.
And so that is my favorite spot to watch anything on Warped Tour from. If you don't get to watch it from side stage, you watch it from the sound mixing booth because that's where it's going to sound the best. And so I got to stand there like with nobody around me because the place was packed. Because as soon as everybody heard that Lincoln Park was playing, nobody had a crowd. Like not a single person was at another stage.
Wow.
So everybody was there. I got to stand there. It was like me and like four other people in the booth. And we just got to stand there like face off. It was amazing. It was just one of those moments.
That's great. God, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah. Well, what other artists would you like to see that you haven't had the chance to see that have sadly passed and are no longer with us?
I mean, Tom Petty comes to mind immediately when you said that might have passed. Tom. I'm a huge Tom Petty guy. I would put Linkin Park up there. Beatles, obviously. I'm a Beatles guy.
Oh yeah.
Those are all. I mean, the ones that are jumping to mind as far as some of the greats. I mean, God, yeah, the Beatles. Oh, what would it be like to see the Beatles live in concert? Holy shit.
Have you been to Liverpool?
I've never been to Liverpool. No.
I
I've
would
been to
highly recommend.
London. And I've been to areas in there, but only a couple times. I've spent a lot of time in Paris actually, but never London. I've always stopped in London for like a couple days when I'm going to Paris. And I've never had an extended stay, but I've heard, and it's awesome, but
I definitely recommend it. I ended up getting these. I was there for a few days, and I ended up literally stumbling into the bar where the Beatles had their first show.
Oh God,
I didn't know that was the bar, but I was like lost and trying to meet up with some friends. And I'm in the UK, so I have like no phone use. So I was like trying to find Wi-Fi, and the door into the bar in the middle of the day was open. I guess they were like loading the kegs or something. And I walk in, and all of a sudden I was like, something happened here. Like you could just feel it in the air, and it was just the most amazing thing. And then all of a sudden I turn and like see a plaque, and I'm like, oh
yeah,
oh, that's where I am. I'm on hallowed ground. Thank you.
I had my Beatles moment where I'm like, but this was in Cambria, or no, sorry, Solvang with Julie, where we go into a restaurant, and a breakfast restaurant. We sit at the booth, and it's where they film Sideways, and we're like, ah. And that's not the Beatles.
No. My aunt and uncle live in Solvang, so I'm very familiar with that town.
Yeah, you know it then.
I know that town.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'd give up 10 years of my life to be able to go and see and be present for the Queen at Wembley Stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Like that seems like a good investment of my years.
That's a good one too. Yeah, that's one of those. Oh boy, can you imagine what that like? Yeah, that would be incredible.
I've worked so many shows from like 12 people to 12,000, and I cannot imagine that show or any show at Wembley. Like it's like 80,000 people in one building screaming and having like just the same amazing time. Like that just has to be, the energy in that place has to be unreal.
Also, now you're talking about stuff that's like, oh my, just getting, I don't care who it, give me Milli Vanilli. I just want to be out and see a concert.
I know.
Milli Vanilli, sure. They're still alive. Great. It's like, I don't know. Gotta be. And are they? I hope they are. I don't want to make a joke that, but so.
I want to say they're still alive.
I just want to like, it just makes me like want to get out and be with friends again and see things like concerts and venues and movie theaters. And, it's blame it on the rain. Mark Reilly says Justin Hamilton. I just saw it in the chat come in.
Oh,
blame it on the rain.
California.
It's not raining in California. I like it when it rains in California during a pandemic. It sure feels better when you're here.
Well, also you get to indulge in all of your rainy day fantasies, which is like the best thing ever. Like you can spend one rainy day curled up in bed watching black and white movies, and you can spend the other day like painting or something and just pretending you're French. I don't know. But
yeah. Although today was probably one of the first days during the pandemic where I actually got in a slight nap, and it felt phenomenal. Like
Leia let you nap?
Leia, this is what's great. Okay, I had it was a great busy day, all this kind of good stuff that I got done. For those of you that joined the Reilly Roundtable, you know what we did and announced for the channel and the Patreon, all these great things, right? But I hit a moment where I was like, I need to lay down a bit. You have those moments. And I was like, can I actually do that? Yeah. And I look on the couch, and wouldn't you know, Julie's having a nap. Julie's asleep on the couch. And I'm like, wait a minute. All right. I'm going into the bedroom type of nap. So I went into the bedroom and got in the bed, and Leia jumped up and crashed on top of me. And I fell asleep for like 30 minutes. And it was, and I remember looking out the window because I opened it up to keep the light in, and I could hear, we have a little fountain on the patio. So I could hear that. And I'm like, this is nice. Pandemic nap. Deserved. Yeah. It's deserved.
Now, the important question, did you starfish it up?
Oh, in the bed?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I did. I kind of went over and on her side. I was like, oh. But then what was cute is that I think Julie realized I wasn't here and got up, crawled into bed with me, put her head on my shoulder. Leia maneuvered, got in between us, and I went, well, now this is nice. And it was very, very fun. And then I had to get going. Oh, and you can now hear my my neighbors all clapping for the essential workers.
Oh, are we doing that in California?
Oh, I can hear them, but you probably can't. Yeah.
Guys, if you or anyone you know or love or care about is an essential worker, thank you so much. You guys are doing the most amazing things ever. We really applaud you. I had Shannon Barney on my show a few weeks ago, and so we got to talking about that. She's so hard to compliment. It makes me angry.
Oh, like, yeah.
I just want to take her and shake her and just be like, say thank you. I love you. Accept my love. She's great.
She's
I love
good.
her.
Yeah. Hung out with Kalinowski for Cantina on Monday, and then I got to see her a little bit after off air.
Nice. So, yeah. He was like casually, he was like trying to like avoid the camera when I was talking to her, and he was like slowly walking by, and people are like, come say hi. I'm like, Shannon, tell Mike it's okay. He can come say hi. Like, it's okay. We were on for like 2 hours and drinking and like laughing our asses off. It was great.
Yeah. Perfect.
Have you found yourself watching anything new?
Yeah. So we've been all over the map, really. I mean, we are kind of our go-to now, and it's just 90 Day Fiance. It's just kind of mindless. Julie's going through the whole. If I could say that I don't watch 90 Day Fiance and say to myself, like, that is the worst show of all time. It's up there, but I love it so much. You cannot stop watching it. And Julie is now going through every season. I'm getting involved. I'm starting to ask. I mean, it's like, and it's the producers are doing their job, because I thought this guy was getting scammed by some Ukrainian girl. And then, and I'm like, dude, you've spent $100,000 on the website, and it's this blonde, and she's like, we'll meet next week. And so he flies to Ukraine to meet her, and she doesn't show up, and he flies home. And then he did this 5 times. Would fly to Ukraine, and 5 times she didn't show up. And then apparently there's some commercial that there she is finally. I'm like, where did you dig her up, producers? I mean, come on. It's like, how does like
is he like half decent looking? Like, I've been single long enough. My bar's
he's not really. Not really. He's kind of like, I don't know. Attractive, that guy? Was he? Yeah, Julie shaking the head.
Thanks, Julie.
No.
Julie's got my back.
Julie does have your back. Yeah, he's like, and he's in it. It was getting sad, but I gotta tell you, I was involved. I got involved in this man's life. I was like,
did you say it was getting sad?
It was getting sad.
Is it? Doesn't it?
Well, apparently he found her, so it's like a happy ending.
Doesn't it start at sad and then just descend?
I mean, it's like, part of that that show is just watching how these people get together. And
sorry, Justin, I love you.
Yeah, it's just so funny. And yeah, so we've been watching that, but that's kind of an aside. Been the new obsession I have is we got Apple TV, and the morning show is really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. I like seeing it. It really hits the ground running. Like the first episode, the pilot is like an immediate like, whoa. And it's like Steve Carell plays like a Matt Lauer type that gets Me Too'd. And Jennifer Aniston has been his co-host for like Good Morning America for like 15 years. And it's like the fallout with her. And it's so interesting to see both sides and to go in and the gray and the black and white and the right and wrong and like, it's a really deft handle of the everything in that movement. And so highly recommend it. Loving that. And then we've been doing some classics. We've been catching up on, like, we did Chinatown. We did One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
I just rewatched Chinatown for the first time, I think, since I was I was probably like 10 the first time I watched it, but like didn't see it since then. Rewatched it a few days ago, and like, oh my gosh, not the movie I remember.
No, God, I know. I've seen it. I saw it years ago. Watching it again, it's a classic. It's great. It still works. It gets to that end. Yep, it sure does. It gets to that ending. You're like, whoa, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really fun to catch up on those. We've been, God, I'm trying to, and then I have pandemic brain. So I'm like, what else have we watched? We rewatched Jaws. We rewatched Empire Strikes Back for May the 4th celebration, watched all the Clone Wars, which are fantastic. And I'm also watching the making of Mandalorian, which is so much fun.
I'm waiting for it to all come out.
Yeah, they're binge worthy.
Yeah. I'm waiting just to like sit down, pop some edibles, and just like watch the artistry and just enjoy that.
Dave Filoni is just, I mean, he's all of us. If you're a Star Wars fan and love it unconditionally, that's him. Like he goes off on the Qui-Gon Jinn duel with Darth Maul and how it's, how important it is for the fate of Anakin, why it's Duel of the Fates and all these different things. And it's just watching him go, yeah, I love it.
I feel like Dan is trying to bait you.
Hey, man, I'm on record. I like the Rise of Skywalker, with the caveat, of course, I had issues with it, and I'm on record saying, this is the weirdest movie, and it's probably because it's like, and I do say it unconditionally, I love Star Wars. And when I saw Rise of Skywalker the first time, I was a blubbering mess. And I loved every second of it. And Ken Knapsack and I ran off into the distance going, it's Star Wars. And then the next day, I started to consider it and think about it. And I started thinking about it from the development of it and what it meant to The Last Jedi and the writing and all the production issues that we heard about and why and this and the divisiveness from the fans. And I came at it with a little bit more constructive criticism. And now it's landed with me where it's like, I love so many moments in that movie. Is it my favorite Star Wars movie? No. But it has so many wonderful moments that I'm glad it's there. I love it. So.
Okay. So apparently Dan was not trying to bait you. He was genuinely.
Oh, Dan, I know. Yeah. Dan's fine.
Genuinely
curious. You'll know when you're baited. Some guy on my YouTube channel said, Reilly, the Collider shill likes Last Jedi. And I just responded to his comment with good one.
I feel like John Mariano is baiting you a little bit. Mark, how do you like the Den? Of course he doesn't like us. We're nipping at their heels. We're coming for that first place.
The Den. I used a word earlier called derelict. So just make it plural. Bunch of derelicts over there.
Whoa. We are not the dungeon.
You know what? That's true. I should take that back. The derelicts are the dungeon.
Although I do think that we need to talk to Harloff because the dungeon is getting an 11th member added to it. I don't know if you heard this, but Kevin Smets is going to be a daddy.
I heard. Yeah.
So they've got another little fighter brewing. So by the end of the season, they're going to have 11 people. I don't know who they're going to drop because they can't drop her.
Right. That child is going to come out knowing the exact order to watch all the Star Wars movies. And it's going to be like, and it's not what you think. No, it's going to, and actually you start with The Last Jedi and they're going to know why. And it's going to be weird.
I feel like her first word is going to be like Mandalorian or Midichlorian or something along those lines.
It's probably no words. It's probably going to be the Force. They'll probably just lift the the baby
she
food.
Is the child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was so happy to hear that and know that. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
And here he like the dark horse coming out of nowhere. I thought that you guys were going to be the first ones to like have the announcement.
Child. Yeah, right. I mean, we were. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Probably right around now. If there was no pandemic and we were married, we might have been trying. Like we wanted to go right to it. I mean, not to it, but you know what I mean. We want a family. We got to wait a little bit. We want to, I want to make her honest first, and get her married.
An honest Julie.
Julie
is nothing but honest, and I love that.
She's honest and sassy and real, and so
we're friends.
Yep.
I love it now that we've started the whole Schmoedown talk. There is Horseman and Dungeon for Life,
of
and
course.
Yes, God, I love you guys. I love all of just like how passionate and wonderful you guys all are. Like just complimenting, like just moving from faction to faction and just loving everybody and doing smack talk with us and hopping in on the fun and trying not to cross that
so
line.
Much fun. Yeah. We all know. We know what
Yeah.
that line is. And sometimes people don't. I wouldn't say it's any competitors or anything, but sometimes
No.
people don't. And you have to, maybe sometimes some of the big boys like Roca will put you back in your place. But,
yeah,
overall, it is the best.
I mean, I do love the concern that everybody is offering to like the issue, the fighting that's going on between me and Brandon, because he's now off the den and we will argue online a lot. And people are like, guys, you guys live together. We're like, we know this is nothing. It's fine.
Yeah, it's right. It's like, right. They do live together. Correct.
We do. That's great. This is like the tip of the iceberg of what we normally say to each other on a daily basis. It's fine.
Right. Yep.
Like we're literally texting and then like hearing the other person in the other room be like, "Are you kidding me?" And then like laughing. Like that's all it is.
That's great.
It's just someone. That's true. I was a big fan, and then I stalked everybody until they let me in. I mean, basically.
Exactly.
Good
moves. Good moves.
What was your first concert? I've always wanted to ask you this because you have such
first concert,
this love of music, and yeah.
My first concert that I can remember, there are two that jumped to mind. The Jackson 5 at Dodger Stadium, where I was literally in the rafters, and they were just like silhouettes and a lot of like flashes, and then the Jackson 5. Yeah. When it was Michael Jackson, when it was, Tito and Jermaine and the whole nine, but this was when Michael Jackson was huge. And they did do a kind of a reunion concert, which I think we were all there to see Michael. Yeah. But that was the one that I remember immediately. But then I also remember Genesis. I saw Genesis. My mother, I was probably, what grade was I in? 5th grade, going to camp. I got huge into Phil Collins and Genesis. And it was during their Invisible Touch tour. And it was the first time I realized that there was a thing called marijuana and that it smelled like burnt hair. And because people were smoking weed next to me, and my mom's like, "No, don't worry about that." And I'm like, "Okay."
Just don't take it.
Yeah. So I had to be about 6th grade by then. It's what my two concerts I remember. I must have been much younger for Jackson 5, a little bit older for Genesis.
Now, were either of those your favorite concerts you've ever seen?
I mean, Genesis is up. That's a good one. My favorites I don't know. I have a bunch of favorites. Dave is that second row, front and center there, is probably my favorite because of the story and like just the night. And but another one that I loved going to was Tori Amos and Alanis Morissette did a concert together, and that was really fun. Oh yeah, and Guns N' Roses and Metallica. That's the one. That was like,
oh yeah, I forgot about one of the
illusion.
biggest concerts that's ever happened.
Yeah, that I did. I was going back in my brain. Like, you asked me the question, so the Genesis and Jackson 5 jumped up, and then I'm like, what are my favorite concert? I haven't really thought about it. Thought of Dave talking to you about it. Then I'm like, oh yeah, Tori Amos, and then kept going back. I'm like, there's another one. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was when Guns N' Roses released Use Your Illusion, and it had to be around the same time Metallica did the Black Album. And my God, that concert was ridiculous. It was the greatest. Yeah, that's my favorite concert. Now that I think about it, because of the nostalgia involved, Metallica has been one of my favorite bands. I think, if not the favorite band, really. I've listened to Metallica my entire life, probably. And when Metallica joined up with a live orchestra.
Oh my God, with San Francisco
Orchestra. Yeah, Metallica, S&M. Jesus. So, 92, 93 is, I'm seeing some people for the tour. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah. That's high school for me. Yep, that's about right. We all got it in high school. Yeah. So, crazy. I love it.
Yeah, I never got to see Metallica, but I did have a really unique experience with them. I was about 13, I think, and our church youth group used to go. One of the families of the church had a cabin in Tahoe, and so they would do like a joint junior high and senior high ski trip for like a week. So you drive up one day and then ski for a few days, then like hang out, and then like we would always end up having a snowball fight in the street like an hour or two before we were going to leave. and then everybody would come back inside, change their clothes, and like hop in the vans, and we'd drive back. So one time I was about 12 or 13, we literally pull into the neighborhood, and right in front there's this house that has like 4 stretch limousines parked in there. And I'm like, Lauren, who lives there? And she's like, oh, it's some band, like metal something. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, it's a singer from this Metallica. And I was like, Metallica? She's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, so all of the guys on the trip and I were like losing our minds.
That's hysterical.
So like the morning of our snowball fight, I was like, we should go invite Metallica. And everyone's like, no. And I'm like, well, I'm going. Oh, yeah. They're like, no, you're not. So I had like 3 guys like follow me down to the house just because they're like, she's not going to do it. Oh, and I knock on the door opens, and there is like he's literally the human version of Cobra Bubbles from Lilo and Stitch. Just this giant black man taking up the entire doorway. I mean, I'm looking like this, so he may not have been as tall, but he took up the entire doorway. And I was like, he's like, can I help you? And I'm like, is Metallica here? He's like, no. And like James pushes him away and he goes, can I help you? And I was like, yeah, my friends and I are having a snowball fight in about a half hour. We wanted to know if you guys wanted to come join us. And the guard was like, we don't have time for this. And he's like, we have time for this. So he's like, we'll be there. And I'm like, all right. So I'm like, whatever. So we walk back to the house. Half hour later, like we're lined up on either side of the street, you know, with our battlement teams. The fight starts, and out of nowhere, I hear James rebel yell from down the street, and the entire band comes running after us. And like, I got thrown into a snowbank by Lars. I got hit in the face by James. Like,
that sounds like something they'd absolutely do. That they're like, yeah, and it's like I hear Metallica, Master of Puppets playing as they say, get him.
I mean,
it's just like
it's a music video of my life.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so then it was really fun coming back after that, because we did that over like our winter break, because we would always have a week off in February here in California. And so we would get back and everyone's like, how was your winter break? And they're like, it was good. We went skiing. I was like, so did I. Who did you meet on your trip?
Who'd you meet on your trip? Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I'll take that.
That story started the ridiculousness of that my life has become, to the point where like even friends of mine were like, she's lying. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
That's a good memory. And you hold that tight, and you let that memory keep you warm, even though it was a snowball fight.
Saul coming in with the best comment ever. It took usually only moments in every snowball fight I've ever gotten into before the thought, this is what Hoth must have been like. 100%.
Perfect. Yep. Perfect. Amazing.
Yeah, I did. It was amazing. I was, I got thrown into that snowbank too. Lars just chucked me.
Nice. I love that.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was so much fun. But I've never seen them live, and I've always wanted to.
Yeah, from what I can remember, it's incredible. It was really incredible.
I did get to see Poison live.
Poison, okay. Poison's not bad.
Yeah, it was Poison.
I mean, it's Poison.
I want to say Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick, okay.
That was fantastic. Yeah, that tour was really fun. My friend got really like the show was not sold out at all. So they were like, hey, check your tickets. Like there was like the radio station 10 by 10 outside of the arena. They're like, let us scan your tickets and see if you randomly got picked to be moved. Okay. So we scanned and we got like one of those booths that like will deliver like food and beer and wine to you. And we were like, all right, that sounds great.
That's amazing. I like that.
Let's do it. It's fun.
That's amazing.
I mean, as much as I'm looking forward to the first concert back, it gives me such like anxiety to think about people being that close to me.
I know. It's a little bit of a scary time. And I don't know what I mean, I think I saw something. I don't know if it's real or not. Everybody has different things going on in their districts and their states. But but that concerts could be canceled for 2020 because of the fear of it coming back. I don't know. I know
I know live events are canceled in Boston because a bunch of my boys in the Dropkick Murphys were sending out stuff on their social media, and like it's like an announcement from the mayor of Boston saying like no, which is the best call because they have so many festivals over the summer that that draw like 25 to 50,000 people.
Right.
And it's like there was a birthday party in I can't remember if it was in Glendale or Pasadena that literally
exactly
like
what you're talking about.
A party, and then like 5 corona cases came out of it, and there was
somebody was at
like
the party coughing, had it.
Yeah. And it's like, why would, if you have a cough, stay home.
We're gonna have to be very careful. Yeah, listen, it is unfortunately going to be the long haul, and I know that there is some divisiveness going out there. I'm not like opening things up, but I think if you're smart about it, like I said, Julie and I went on a big hike the other day. We saw people, but we were at a safe distance. People were very safe about it. They had their masks on, all this kind of stuff. We do that. We go to the store. We do all the things, but I think that it's going to suck. But, you know, if you're packed together, you know, in some of these protests, look out. I know you're close together with another person, and, you know, it can get you. And, you know, I worry about my mother, you know, and my father. Those are the people I worry about. Those are the people we have to worry about with this kind of thing. You and I might be okay, but I don't want to test that theory either.
Yeah, so, I'm not willing to test it.
I'm not willing to test it, and I'm willing to stay in. And I'm willing to put it to good use by being creative and kind, by saying hi to people. I've met a number of people on the long walks around this neighborhood now are a whole different thing that Julie and I have noticed. We are walking, we have our masks on, we're with Leia, and we find ourselves wandering in the street. And just the other day, I was literally with Julie, me, Leia. There's this nice guy that's been wandering around our neighborhood for the past month, I would say, that we run into now. And he's got a cute pit bull, golden pit bull dog boy, and a little like kind of Scotty girl. And Leia and those dogs love each other. And he couldn't be but he's the nicest guy I've ever met lately. How are you? How's the pup? You know, just that kind of conversation. And then we kept walking, and all of a sudden here come these 2 women that are enjoying their day. It's a beautiful day out. They're like way over here on the street and no cars. So we're like having ourselves a big conversation. Of course, then Jackass comes behind us and honks at us and is like right away, like, get out of the way. And we're like, all right, just, you know, and we have them go by and everything. But, you know, it's taking long walks. Having a little bit of a conversation with somebody very safe kind of gives you that human connection. Calling friends, literally picking up the phone and going, how are you? Zooming, all the different things that we're doing. We can get through this. We don't have to feel like it's like you're taking away anything from us. Or it's like, this is for real and good. And let's just, you know, be kind at least.
Get through it in a kind way. Like there's no reason to be hard about it. Last night I was on the PJ Campbell network, and we were debating the top 10 villain songs of all time. And then after, it was rough. I had to give my diatribe of why Ursula is not a villain. So Poor Unfortunate Souls does not deserve to be on that list. Like I have that lecture memorized at this point.
Hot take. I like it.
Yeah. But at the end of it, we were like, just kind of chatting on StreamYards, and you can only have 6 people up at a time, but there was like 8 of us. So Jill had, you know, Sean and Jill, Sullivan.
Yeah.
So Jill, as soon as all of this happened, got like the VIP like Zoom package because she wanted to do like group chats and calls and everything. So I text her and I was like, hey, you want to host? And she's like, yeah. So like 12 of us ended up on this call together. And we're like, we feel like we've been talking to each other all day, but this is what we want to do. Like, we don't want to stream, just want to hang out, because it's just like, it's as close as we're going to get to seeing everybody for a live event for the next like almost year at this point, I think. Like I'd be surprised if we end up doing Spectacular.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
and honestly, and those friendships are carrying through. you know, my standing date that we've been doing now for the past month and a half is every weekend. Me, Sam Levine, Rachel, Dan, and Mara and Julie all get together, and we have ourselves. And it went so far as to when those kids, Sam and Rachel, drove up to pick up their wine in Solvang, and they picked up a bottle for us and then dropped it off for us so that we could open it together on our last date. Those are like my dearest friends. I love them to death. And and you need that. And then I just did a big one with some of my high school friends, and we were trying to get our high school drama teacher, and she canceled last minute. So we were like, well, let's jump on, because, you know, a bunch of it, you know, we hadn't seen each other for a while. So that helped. You know, my mother, my family, my mom, my aunt, my cousins, my sister, we all got on at one point. You need that kind of stuff right now, especially right now, because we're going to, like, otherwise you're going to go crazy. You know, Julie has been going crazy sometimes, and just her blowing off steam is hysterical. Sometimes she'll just start singing, like standing next to me, and it's just the cutest thing. And sometimes it's like, get out of here. She smiles over there. But it's like, whatever you need to do to get through this is the key.
Yeah. I am so excited to see all of the art that's coming out of it. There's so much. Like, I have a friend of mine who would write short stories in high school and, you know, into college, and just like these random little like thought journals, whatever, that, you know, we'd all get drunk and like expand on them and have like writing sessions all together. But they were like terrible, terrible stories that we ended up concocting out of her like amazing, glorious idea. But she started releasing some of her stories and stuff like that. And, like, you know, friends of mine that I didn't know can sing are releasing songs that they've written that are stunning, or picking up painting again, or for the first time. And it's like, all of this stuff that's coming out of this, like, the earth is getting scorched right now. And like, the most beautiful garden is starting to grow out of it. And I'm so like, it's one of those, like, this is the silver lining in all of this.
Yeah.
Is everybody coming together, especially across, like, I can call friends of mine in like Japan and like have a meeting, hang out, collaborate on ideas.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I'm actually, one project I'm very excited about it. I'm collaborating with through StreamYard. I'm writing a graphic novel with somebody, and it's the greatest. And it's so much fun, and it's his story. And he brought me on, needed the help. We have an illustrator that works with us, and it's like, it's incredible. And we meet twice a week for like sometimes 3 or 4 hours a time. And it's incredible to think that we're going to have something, hopefully, because, you know, he's a musician and not able to work right now. And so, and tour especially. So let's get creative.
Do I know this friend?
You do. Yeah. It's Eric. It's okay. Eric. And I'll leave it at that, you know, cause I don't know how much he wants out there, but he did. And also he probably doesn't care, but I am so overwhelmed and thankful to be a part of that one, his creativity. And it's like, we both pump each other up. We're like, we got, no. We like, let's get out there. This is kind of why I revamped my YouTube channel and added a couple things and got rid of a couple things that aren't working, and why I'm writing the script and also putting it out there, being like, you know, I did my announcement about this script that I want to write and then do a read through on my channel. And I, you know, somebody was like, not for me. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it probably won't be, but I'm taking chances and I want to just get it out there, because what the hell else we going to do? Right now.
And also, you never know who's going to see it, because now everybody has time to look at all of the stuff that they never have a chance to see.
Correct.
Like,
you never know. Keep it positive, keep going, keep kind, and keep creating. I think that's the way you do it.
You could write the script for the next for the next Knives Out sequel, tag Ryan Johnson in it off a whim, and he could legitimately see it. Like, this is the time when, like, randomness happens and dreams can come true. You never know. Always take your shot. You never know when it's going to be a yes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
All right, we are closing in on about an hour, so I'm going to check and see if anybody has Streamlabs anything. We do have a Streamlabs. We have a $10 from Ferris. You sweet, sweet man. Ferris, I love you so much. Says, hey, Mark, longtime fan here. I have a question about movies that revolves around the music of an artist like Yesterday or Blinded by the Light. And what musical sparked joy in your mind? Grease 2. Those are
Grease
his
2.
prompts and prompts.
Grease 2 does give me joy thinking about it. So, so what musicals is the question?
Yeah.
Like spark joy with me?
Yes. Question about movies that revolve around music of an artist like Yesterday or Blinded by the Light. What are your favorite ones that do that? And then what musical has sparked joy?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, That Thing You Do, I just love. It's one of those movies that like revolves around music. It's just a joy. Everything about it. It's so wonderful. So that one jumps to mind as far as movies. Yesterday is I really enjoyed Yesterday. I know some people didn't like it. I thought the message was beautiful in that movie.
I think the storyline was just handled so masterfully.
I really liked it, and a lot of that has to do with, it's a big spoiler in the movie, so I don't necessarily want to say it, but it's something that it's like, if things went differently in that world, that
conversation,
when a certain Beatle shows up, I had it in tears. It was tears for me. So, that's a beautiful movie. But as far, and I love the Elton John Rocket Man. That was a fucking great movie. It was one of my favorites of last year. So that's one off the top of my head. Not a big fan of Bohemian Rhapsody, even though it's a fantastic performance by Rami Malek. I just, the movie didn't have a lot of bite to me like it did with Rocket Man. Okay, so that aside, musicals that bring joy, Les Miserables, even though it's The Miserables, that music is so damn beautiful.
The musical, not the movie, guys.
Not the movie. The movie's fine. The movie's fine. Anne Hathaway is great. Is actually really great.
Hugh Jackman.
Russell Crowe, Hugh Jackman, phenomenal. Hugh Jackman, or not Hugh Jackman. Russell Crowe.
Don't ever sing, please.
I put some venom on Hugh Jackman. Ooh, take that back. Sorry, Hugh Jackman. Russell Crowe. I mean, Javert sings one of the most gorgeous songs in Les Miserables in Stars, and has so many wonderful duets, and enters in on One Day More and all these different things. Oh, yikes almighty.
They could have cast William Shatner in that role and it would have been better.
Probably, yeah. But that's one of those musicals I love. My mother really introduced me to musicals, and then I got into acting. I got into musical theaters. I performed in West Side Story and Grease and Little Abner and Sound of Music and Grease, all these, things. And so I've had a love for it. So over the years, the musicals that stand out to me are Les Mis and Miss Saigon and Rent. Those are some of my favorites that I listen to. Some of the oldies, like Sound of Music is great always, but Cats, the movie is musical's fine, but Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom Menace is one of my favorites. Starlight Express. I mean, you could go old and new. There's some great musicals out there. Those are some of my favorites.
I thought I'd seen just about every movie musical that has ever been created. But Chris Clark brought one to my attention recently. We did a Suddenly Soundtracks on it as well. It's called Phantom of the Paradise. Have you seen this?
No, Phantom of the Paradise. I haven't.
Insane. It's like a mix of Rocky Horror and Phantom of the Opera and like really low budget and ridiculous. It is so much fun. I will send you the link. We have to talk about this later.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because like forever he kept saying, yeah, you're coming on for Phantom. And I kept thinking he was saying Phantom of the Opera. And I was like, yeah, of course. And then he is like, oh, you've got the movie, right? I'm like, of course. He doesn't have Phantom of the Opera. And he's like, no, Phantom of the Paradise. Yes, Phantom of the Paradise is
Phantom of the Paradise. Okay.
It's one of those movies that when I saw it, I was like, how is this not a cult hit in line with Rocky Horror? Like they both came out around the same time.
Yeah.
They have the same kind of feel to it. It's amazing.
I want to say I've heard of it, but yeah, I got to check it out, I guess.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. It's like an hour and a half, so it's not a long watch.
It's not too bad. Yeah.
But it definitely, I would love to see them remake it. Apparently, Chris Jericho is a huge fan of it, and there is a role for him. If you watch this movie, he should play Beef. He's like the Rocky of
wow.
the movie.
Okay.
It's amazing. Yeah, early 90s. Paul Williams. He's in it.
Yeah. All right, I got to check this shit out.
Yeah, Paul Williams wrote Rainbow Connection. He worked a lot with the Muppets. He apparently failed up a lot. A lot of his stuff wasn't appreciated. But then he kept getting bigger and better. Is A Knight's Tale counted as a musical? No, it is a movie with music in it.
Yeah, it's a movie with music in it.
You and I have had this debate so many times.
Musicals are the audience needs to sing, and you're singing to us.
Yes.
Musicals basically do the thing where they go, okay, we're going to sing now. You hear that music playing underneath as I'm talking to you in a kind of a weird upbeat way as I set up the next thing that I'm talking about. Yeah, you know what it's like. Here we go. And they start singing.
Yeah, it either furthers...
Little Shop of Horrors is one of my favorites. Julie just went, you forgot Little Shop. Yeah, Little
I was
Shop
waiting for you because I was like, he has not brought up Little Shop yet, and PJ will be very disappointed.
Little Shop, yeah, I did Seymour in Little Shop when I was kind of a guest artist at a children's theater. I did my Seymour and I loved it. It was so much fun. It's
just it's so weird and so ridiculous and fun, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Somebody said, "Oh, Jake, hi Jake. Want to drop a
hello,
like
Yakavetta, my friend.
Sweet boy.
How are you?
Happy belated. Yes, Saul, Phantom of the Paradise is required viewing. It is amazing, and it is a Brian De Palma movie, which I like. As soon as it ended and I saw that, I was like, okay, that makes sense now.
Okay, yeah. That's where I heard about it. Okay, that rings a bell now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Well, I will definitely be sending you that link when we get off.
Okay.
Okay. I think there was one more Streamlabs. Justin said Mark is exercising his shoulders to be able to hold two belts, and Rachel's audience has probably never heard what the greatest Jedi move ever made is. Mark.
Oh, Justin Hamilton, my hype machine, my man, my he's my bodyguard. Yeah, I am. These shoulders are getting pumped, ready for a team and a singles belt. Oh yeah.
Well, you'll enjoy the team's belt for like a minute, and then Ben and I are coming for them. So just so
yeah. There's only one belt that the one Ben that's gonna have that belt. It's my partner. So yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. We'll have the battle of the Bens. It'll be fun.
Yeah, that's true. That'll be fun.
We'll just have to call everybody by their last name because everybody on the table has a corresponding person with their first name.
Oh, I know. It's like, that's why, well, when I started working for Schmoes and doing all that with them, I mean, it was Mark and Mark. Mm-hmm. And so I started distinguishing myself. I went, no, call me Reilly, because that's what that's what the fan, like my dad and my grandfather never went by Edward or Neil. They went by Riles or Reilly.
Yeah.
So I'm just following that tradition.
Yeah, even my mom, when she came down to meet you, I was like, and this is Mark. She's like, who's Mark? And I'm like, this is Mark Reilly.
Reilly.
We call him Reilly. And then there's Mark Ellis, who we call Ellis. She goes, oh, I thought Ellis was a girl. I'm like, no. I mean, she'd never seen pictures, so it's fun. Yes, Little Shop is amazing. It's so much fun. I love and hate the backlash that Jeremy Jordan was getting for being cast. In the Broadway revision. I'm like, Jeremy Jordan is one of the most amazingly talented people out there. They're like, he doesn't look geeky enough. And I'm like, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
It's awful. Yes. Team Bateman. Yes. He's wonderful and dreamy. I understand. Blah, blah.
Team Bateman.
Okay. So it looks like we're coming to the end of it.
All right.
Oh, I got a last minute one from Michael K. In honor of George Lucas's birthday. Yes, happy birthday, George.
Happy birthday, George.
What's your favorite non-Star Wars project he either directed or produced? Mine kind of has to be American Graffiti, which I saw for the first time on the big screen a few years ago and loved it to bits.
American Graffiti is great, but I got to go with Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's his creation. He's the one that said, Steven Spielberg said, I want to do James Bond. And George Lucas said, I got something better. And said, Indiana Smith. It's an archaeologist that goes on adventures. That was his story. That was Lucas's creation. And then Spielberg brought it to life, of course. You can't have one without the other, though. So I don't know what we're going to do with this next Indiana Jones. I'm going to watch the hell out of it. But anyways, it's beside the point.
I mean, I just love that George Lucas is associated with like almost every movie that Harrison Ford started his career with. Like he's in American Graffiti. He's in,
and he fought it. He didn't want to cast the guy that was in there for Han Solo, but then Hans, he read for it because he was making a door in one of the casting offices, and it was just use Harrison, and then somebody else reads for Harrison Ford's Han Solo, and Lucas has been listening to Harrison read it the whole time, and he goes, "Yeah, you're right. We're gonna have to do him, And then no, I don't want Indiana Jones because he already plays Han Solo, and then here we are. Come on,
yeah,
it's fantastic.
So I mean, I can't pick just anything pre 1990 is amazing.
Yep,
it just makes me so happy. Okay, so I'm just gonna refresh this real quick. If you guys have any questions, give it to me in the next 2 minutes. We're gonna chat real quick, and then I'm gonna ask my famous last question. What was the? Oh, Kurt Russell was not good enough. Apparently, no.
Kurt Russell wasn't good enough as Han Solo. I know. He auditioned.
No, because he was made to be Snake.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been a great Han Solo. I could totally picture him doing Han Solo, and I could do my bad Kurt Russell impression. It's like, well, that you can't go to the Alderaan system. It's just like I picture you could see him doing it, but
yeah, I mean,
for another time.
I think he's broody, but like in a happy way.
Right.
Whereas Harrison Ford has him like that dark and quiet, brooding, like
yeah. Yeah, he's Jack Burton. Dan Dye knows it. And Jack Burton. He was, Snake Plissken and Jack Burton, and that's the guy I know. He's like, come on, you could do it. It's like that's the Jack Burton, Kurt Russell I know and love.
Yeah, he's the one who always has a smile that fades. But Harrison Ford was the one whose smile faded on.
Right. Exactly.
So I like the pick. All right, so it looks like we are closing in on tonight, so I am going to ask my favorite last question. One of my favorite movies of all time is Almost Famous, and the way that it ends, William, I think, ends or starts his interview the way that I love to end mine is: do you have to be happy to write a love song? Do you have to be sad to write a sad song? What is it you love about music?
Oh boy, I mean, it's that's so interesting. It gives you so much. I remember. So Julie and I, it's funny you mentioned that. Last night, something came to me. We were driving. Julie and I like to take drives just now and again. And we just did what else are we doing? So we drive around town, and I was playing just iTunes, and it was shuffling songs. And in Incubus's "I Miss You" came on, and it's one of my favorite songs from that time, which is like the early 2000s. And Incubus was such a big part of me feeling getting out of college and being out in the real world. And there was like, I miss you, even though there was nobody in my life at that time. That was something that I was like longing for somebody to be in my life at that point. And that music got it. And was he writing it because he missed somebody, or is it probably? So I believe, yes, I think the greatest art, and that includes music, comes from those raw feelings, whether you're breaking up with somebody, or something happy happens, or something of success. But I think of Adventures in Babysitting. You don't get out of it without playing the blues, and you got to hit those blues to play the music. So I think it really is about feeling and having and living life. It's another thing that I'm doing. Like, your life experience is what writes songs and writes screenplays and books and everything. So you got to get out there and live and get hurt and get, be heartbroken and try and wear your heart on your sleeve and put it out there with somebody you love. If you have a crush on somebody, go fucking tell them, because what have you got to lose? Because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to write that song. So that's the way I feel about that quote. It's a wonderful quote.
My favorite.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Pleasure,
I have loved this. I miss you so much.
Miss you, my friend.
Guys, thank you so much. I do have a little announcement for next week. And kind of sticking with the theme that I set this week. Next week we're gonna have Mark Ellis.
Nice.
I don't know if he's going to wear the orange suit, but I'm telling him he doesn't have to. We're not doing trivia. It's just going to be yucks and music. And I mean, yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about, Van Halen. So turn the sound down a little bit next week, because we're probably going to be yelling and laughing. So come back. It's going to be at 6 or 7 o'clock, 6:30. I'm going to send out the announcement later tonight. So keep your eyes peeled. Come back tomorrow. Thank you so much for all your support. support. And thank you so much, Mark, for coming on. I love you
pleasure.
and Julie and the pups so much. So
I know, Leia.
Everybody,
this is her auntie.
I miss her so much. Everybody be kind, be safe, be healthy and happy, and you are loved. Bye, guys.